Welcome back, everyone. It's here. And today I've got some r/BestOf for you all. As per usual, I'll be reading you the posts, giving you my opinions, and I hope you do the same down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. This post was collected by Glumcraft4652. The original OP is Kids Sitting Forever, posted to r/advice June 23rd, 2018. A friend of mine asked me to babysit her daughter for a weekend while she dipped away to Atlanta to a weekend. That was almost 2 months ago. So, my friend had a little girl named Mariana. She doesn't know who the father is. And whatever. Hygh, she's always been kind of a shit mom, neglectful and short-tempered, but I always thought she loved Mariana. I babysat for Mariana a bit here and there, but I wasn't the only sitter. I came to really like this kid. She's now 4. Also, I know that it can also be pronounced Mariana, but I had a friend growing up named Mariana, and that's just where my brain goes to for pronunciation. Ever since January, my friend was bragging about her new boyfriend in Atlanta. Late April, she messaged me and said, "Hey, my sister bailed. Can you watch Mary," our nickname for Mariana, "from Friday to Monday, April 27th to the 30th? I'm going to Atlanta to meet my boyfriend and I can't bring her." I agreed to babysit. She told the school and everything. So, Friday morning, she dropped off a bunch of clothes and stuffy at my apartment. In hindsight, she left way more clothes than was normal, but I didn't think anything of it. Then she left to catch her plane. I went and picked up Mariana from school and took her home. For the record, I don't work. I receive compensation and disability for a work injury that left me with a bad knee. I took her to the park across the street from my building and played with her until dinner time. We cooked dinner together, we cleaned, watched a movie, and then I read her stories. On my phone, the mother didn't have books and never read to her. I got her changed and put her to bed on the couch, and I went to sleep. We had a good weekend. We went to the library Saturday for half the day and played at the park, and Sunday was kind of a lazy cuddle day. We did some crafts, put on a movie, napped all day. Monday after school, the mom was supposed to have come gotten Mariana by 5. She didn't show. I spammed her phone with calls and texts and got no answer. I didn't know what to do, so I just kept doing what I was doing. Tuesday, there was still no contact. Mariana was starting to get upset and asked where mommy was. Wednesday, I went to my friend's house, but no one home. I contacted all of our mutual friends, but still, nothing. Wednesday night was hard. Mariana had a really bad tantrum, crying and screaming for her mommy. It was so bad she didn't sleep, and I had to tell her school she wouldn't be in. The school, for the record, wasn't asking questions yet. Finally, I got her to calm down. I told her mommy got a little lost on her trip, but until she came home, I'd take care of her. She started to have nightmares about being abandoned and became anxious and clingy. After a week of being woken up by her screaming through the night, I let her sleep with me, which helped tremendously. So, that lasted 5 days until I bought her a little futon and put it beside my bed. So if she wakes up, she can see that I'm still right beside her. When she was delivered to me in April, her clothes smelled iffy. Her shoes had holes in the soles and were too small. And I found out she needs glasses. I bought her a whole new wardrobe, new shoes, I taught her how to cook and bake, and we're learning guitar for kids. She's healthier. She looks better. Before she looked tired all the time and seemed to be not well nourished. She hadn't touched any soda since she's been in my care, and she eats regular healthy meals. But we ran into an issue. I took her to get glasses, and the eye doctor said I couldn't sign for her or make appointments for her since I wasn't her legal guardian. The school began asking, "Where is your friend?" And I have no idea. I told my mom that I would be going to the police and asking them what to do, but what she told me made me stop. Now it's been 2 weeks, and I know I can't just keep her, but my mom told me if I went to the police, I wouldn't be able to keep her. They'd take her away and try to find the mom or give her to another relative of hers. Mariana would likely go to my friend's mom, who used to beat her. When I was getting ready to go with Mariana to the police station, I burst into tears, and I hugged her, and I told her I loved her. And she said, "I love you too, Daddy," without any prompting or that word ever being said around her. I don't want to lose her. Out of everyone in her life, I'm the only one who wanted her. I love her. I want her. A few comments before all edits. You're right, I went by the house again yesterday and still nothing. A friend of mine said she probably abandoned Mariana. It looks that way because her car was sold, supposedly, and her neighbors said she never came back. Someone else checked in with her mom and best friends, and there's rumors that she moved in with her new guy and changed her name. But I don't know, and I don't want to feel hearsay. What I will say is that there's a reason no one is worried about her, and everyone assumes she abandoned Mariana. This isn't the first time she ran away with some guy. The school hasn't called because apparently they were told she might be away for the rest of the school year. So, technically, this makes sense. I live in a one-bedroom apartment, so it's tough. I don't want to start making her sleep on a couch again, but the apartment is small. So if I get custody, I'll try to move us into a two-bedroom. It's possible for me to apply for emergency custody? How do I do that? These are all comments and responses to other users that were not included. The more I spend time with Mariana, the more I hate my friend without even wanting to. Mariana is so beautiful and intelligent and spirited. She's fun and sweet and gentle and loving. Just how? How do you abandon someone who adores you like this? She cries at night for her mother and asks me why mommy doesn't love her, and it makes me so angry. And I try not to be, because I don't know what went on in her mind. I don't want to hate the mother. I try not to hate anyone, but it's so hard. I don't think I can. I'm mentally preparing myself to say goodbye, and Mariana knows I'm not okay too. When I check my phone to check my messages, she tries to come between me, sit on me, cuddle, etc. She's been really clingy and sucky, crying and coming to me for cuddles over a little fall she had on the carpet, so I think she senses I'm very emotional right now. I don't know how to look at her and tell her that I'm disappearing, just like mommy did. It seems that best case scenario is she goes into the state's care until my emergency custody is approved. Edit, just to clarify, Mariana's grandmother and uncle both know I have her. They seem to know where the mother is, but they won't say anything. They don't care that I'm taking care of her, and they have never requested or demanded her. They don't want her. What do I do? Can I be allowed to adopt her based on the grounds that I've been looking after her this long? Or will they take her away? Edit 2. I've decided that I have to do the right thing. I'm going to call the grandmother Monday morning and tell her I want custody. And then, no matter what, I'll call CPS and apply for emergency custody. I'm not ready to say goodbye. I'm on the brink of a panic attack just thinking of it. I feel sick and I'm sweating, but we have laws for a reason, and if I circumvent them to protect Mariana, other people can do it to hurt kids. I'm going to wait until Monday. Tomorrow, I'm going to give Mariana the best night of her life. Anything she wants to do or wants to have is hers. Wish me luck. Edit 3. I sought out help from r/legal advice, but I don't think they understand what I'm trying to figure out, since almost all of their comments are about race. But yeah, I will reach out to CPS and explain that I have spent months trying to get in touch with Mariana's legal guardian, that I have been her surrogate parent since April, and that Mariana has benefited from my care. I'll try to explain that I would like to be granted temporary custody until this is figured out, since separating us could be traumatizing for Mariana. Thank you all for your advice and kind comments. Edit 4. Since it seemed to upset a lot of people, I deleted some information about how no one knows Mariana's cultural identity. It's not relevant anyways, as my concerns that culture could influence CPS's decision is apparently unfounded. I'm happy that CPS doesn't see color or culture, but I hope that in doing so, they don't mistakenly put children in the homes of people who are disrespectful towards their heritage. Edit 5. I just got off the phone with Mariana's grandmother. It didn't go well. She was quite offended when I said I had already called CPS, and she was even more offended that I wanted to adopt Mariana. She insinuated that I'm trying to hurt the mother because I'm jealous that she won't sleep with me. While Mariana's mother is a pretty woman, our personalities are at conflict, and despite my crippling loneliness, I am not interested in engaging in those activities with her. The exchange became heated as she focused on my weight and lack of sexual prowess, and I focused on Mariana's well-being and my desire to give her a good home. I'll make a new update post once everything is settled down. CPS should have someone here by 4:30. A few comments from OP after all edits. I did write down everything I remembered since last night. put together some recipes that she loves, and made a list of her favorite stories and books. It seems pretty guaranteed that she's going to be taken away. So I've packed up her recipe book and clothes and her toiletries and this little keepsake I got her. I'll be adding the journal in my childhood stuffy tomorrow. In the recipe book, I put some notes. I wrote down what veggies she likes and dislikes. I marked down what spices and ingredients to try and stay stocked up on because we use it a lot. I wrote out how much she usually eats and what I do when she's being picky. I noted what she does when she helps me cook for each recipe. It took 4 hours to finish. I put some cute stickers on it and wrote Mary's cookbook on it in Sharpie. She's from Latino on her father's side, maybe Mexican or Colombian because her mom bragged about Mexican and Colombian men often. I don't know for sure. She isn't native though. I'll never give up on her. Tomorrow isn't goodbye forever. I'll get her back. I originally mentioned that Mariana was of Latino descent, though I don't know what culture she specifically belongs to. I also mentioned what I knew of the man Mariana's mom ran off with, which was basically a first name and his general appearance. A few grumpy butts got fixated on the racial details and tried to paint me as some kind of racist, which was silly and rude and very unpleasant. Since they wouldn't let it go, I deleted all mentions of race and culture, and deleted my post on legal advice. Update. 2.5 months later. Update. In April, a former friend abandoned her daughter with me and ran away to the States to be with her boyfriend. Editor's note, all letters have been replaced with proper names. A lot has happened since my last update. Amy, Mariana's mom, Brenda, Amy's mom, Caleb, Amy's brother, Dan, Amy's new boyfriend, and Ella, Amy's best friend. Firstly, I filed a complaint with CAS, citing how I was treated and the fact that the agent did not follow proper procedure. CAS agreed that things were handled poorly, but maintained that I had no rights pertaining to Mariana. The lady I talked to was very understanding. She said that they did in fact read the journal I made them, and the CAS lady complimented me, stating outright that if I was a relative, even a distant one, she would be in my care no problem. Police investigated Mariana's mother, Amy's disappearance. They found her. She was pregnant and living with Dan. She may potentially get deported back to Canada. I don't know if that's true or not, though. She would not return CAS's phone calls. I reached out to Amy's brother Caleb, as the grandmother, Brenda, was not returning my calls. Caleb and I talked. I asked him how Mariana was. I asked about his sister. I explained everything. He told me the following. Screen caps of a group text where Amy responded to Brenda telling her I would call CAS. Amy said, "Call them and tell them he touches little girls, LOL." Verbatim. Mariana was kept in CAS's care while the process to cut Amy's parental rights went on. They said she was suffering from extreme distress. Brenda was granted emergency custody, but Brenda was witnessed by Mariana's personal CAS worker selling pain pills. When Brenda was warned about selling drugs around a 4-year-old, she stated that she couldn't look after her and gave her back to CAS. Technically, Amy still has parental rights. She played the system. Caleb finally admitted he wasn't okay with everything, but he couldn't afford to take Mariana. He put me in touch with Amy, who was rude and obnoxious. Amy is pregnant again, and she's taken Mariana to the States. Currently, she is in trouble for a DUI she got. I don't know the details. I called her and said outright that she should allow me to take Mariana in a closed adoption, where she would have visitation rights and she wouldn't have to have her taken by CPS. We got into a big fight, and I said, "Just because you don't want Mariana doesn't mean she should suffer or be abused. Let me give her a loving home." I said to her there's a reason she dropped Mariana with me in the first place. I told her deep down inside she chose me because she knew I would love her. I cried during our talk and she teared up too, but after our talk, she, according to mutual friends, went on a huge tirade about me on Facebook. My current primary goal is to get Mariana away from Amy. She is continuing to drink and do drugs, and her boyfriend is not someone anyone trusts. The grandmother is completely out of the picture. Amy's close friend Ella reached out to me and said that she thought things were terrible and she fought against Amy and sacrificed their friendship to stick up for me. I found it moving because Ella wasn't someone I talked to. I'm trying to work out a deal with Caleb. My lawyer, who is a Redditor from the last thread working pro bono for me, promised to represent Caleb in family court for free. We are urging him to fight for Mariana to get away from Amy and Dan so we can move forward with a closed adoption. Caleb doesn't want to destroy the family any more than this already has, but he's considering it. He admits I'm the only person who ever really cared about his niece, and I'm probably the only one who can make her happy. Honestly, it's been hard. Emotionally, it's been really devastating to see Mariana go to such a bad place. I don't know what she's going through, but this has been torture for her. These months of struggle left me feeling bitter and angry, as well as depressed and helpless. It's been hard to maintain a positive attitude. Every time I see her stuff in my apartment, I tear up and get emotional. I've been sleeping poorly and skipping meals. I haven't been healthy since I lost her. Legally, if Caleb doesn't go through with his side, it's over. Sometimes I wonder if I could have just kept her. Probably not, but she would be healthier and happier if I could have. I feel like the system failed Mariana. In my last thread, a young mom reached out to me. She was a few hours away IRL, so we talked and ended up getting along very well. We've started a relationship and we met up a couple times. She's been very helpful in helping me cope. Last time, some people got weirded out over my emotional attachment to Mariana. This time, I'm not engaging with people like that this time. These kinds of people are the ones who think I should have hired a woman to do all the childcare stuff for Mariana, or left her to marinate in filth for weeks. These are the kinds of people who will never understand that I love Mariana, and I want to be a part of her life to protect and raise and help her for as long as there is life in me. She's family. I'm anxious. There's no telling what abuse Mariana will go through at home. Amy should have lost parental rights a long time ago, but that process is moving slowly, apparently. They may not be able to enforce it with Amy in the States now. So, that's that. If things are going to work out, it will be over a year before I see Mariana again, but more likely, it all ends here. Final update. 5.5 months later, 2.5 months later from the last update. A woman abandoned her daughter, Mariana, in my care for months, while she fled the country to live with another man. Now the matter has reached a resolution, though not a happy one. Check my post history for the old posts. The basic rundown is Mariana was abandoned in my care while Amy, her mom, left to meet her new boyfriend in the States. Brenda, the grandmother, is abusive and doesn't want Mariana. Caleb, the uncle, doesn't have the finances to raise her. Amy is pregnant from her new boyfriend, Dan. After Mariana was returned to CPS, Amy took her to the States. We tried to have Caleb sue for custody of Mariana due to Amy's neglect and dangerous lifestyle. I want to adopt Mariana, but for now, I'm just praying that Caleb gets her and I can just be her babysitter. I promised Caleb if he got custody, I'd support Mariana financially. Whether she lives with me or with him, doesn't matter. I just want her to be happy. So, here's what happened since then. Dan dumped Amy, threw her out for cheating on him, and was charged for assaulting Amy's lover. Amy then fled back to her grandmother's. Caleb backed out of the suit. He believes that he can support Mariana now that she's back home. But I doubt it. Either way, it's all over. Amy and Brenda are gone, they moved, and now I know nothing. I'm never getting Mariana. I'm never seeing her again. That's how this all ends. I'm sorry for getting people's hopes up. In my last post I mentioned I started seeing a young mom from Reddit. We are still together, and her kid both really get along with me. We became Facebook official and have approached the subject of moving in together. Mariana left a big hole in my heart, but this woman is helping me to heal. She has said that I can't do anything more for Mariana, but I can be there for her and her daughter. I don't know what to do with Mariana's things. I've given my girlfriend's daughter as much of it as she wants/needs, but there is still a lot. Edit, what my partner meant is that we've exhausted all our legal options, and even my lawyer has said without Caleb's help, it's all over. She was just trying to convey that I could make a difference to someone, even if I couldn't help Mariana any further. Final comment from OP. Unfortunately, I am now very well acquainted with the legalities. It's out of our hands. Best case scenario is Mary goes into foster care. Even then, though, she won't ever go to me, and I won't be able to know anything about her. She's gone from my life. I have no right legally to her or any information about her. To this stamp presser who saw like everything going on and decided to, push Marianne back into care with her mother, I just want to talk. I just want to talk. How can you look at the guy that wants to adopt her? Literally handed you a full list of everything that Mariana needs to be healthy and happy. And then you look at the mother who just fucking upright abandoned her and moved to the States and just disappeared with no explanation, and think, yeah, that's where she needs to go to be happy. Then when that doesn't work out, go into custody with the grandmother who's selling pain pills and be like, you know what, this family structure that's going on here that Marianne is a part of is 100% fine and healthy to raise a child in, despite the fact that there's literally a guy that she calls dad who is just chomping at the bit to be a proper parent for her. I just want to talk, buddy. I just want to know why you pressed the stamp down. Good God. Sounds like Canada's systems failed that poor girl. Good Lord. 7 years later, I wonder what all has been going on. Fuck, man. Sorry for ruining your morning. The next post is a lot of fun though. So, at least that might help be a fun palate cleanser. This post was collected by Direct Caterpillar 77, and their tagline is, of course, Satan is not a pogo stick. The original OP is Floodweight, posted to r/legal advice December 2nd, 2018. Last month, a friend began to cross a flooded river in his car with me in it. I jumped out, now have a letter from his lawyer asking for damages. Early in November, we went to pick up car parts after work that my friend, I'll call Aaron because his name's Aaron and I think he's being an idiot, had bought on eBay. We had to go through some back roads to get to the property and pick it up, and all was well. It had been raining for part of the day, but really picked up when we were loading the parts. And we got to a causeway we'd passed only an hour before, but it was now covered in what looked like half a meter of water, and we stopped. I'd been navigating and knew we could back up and take another much longer route, even though the highway was just a bit on the other side of the causeway. There was no way I'd go through the water as it looked, because I'd been caught on a causeway 20 years ago in less water and had my car pushed off into the river, and I didn't want to risk it. I didn't lose that car, but it's one of the scariest moments of my life. I said we had to turn back and could take a different road 10 kilometers around, but that would take us via a bridge over the same river. Aaron decided to push on and started moving, and I panicked and got straight out. It was far more water than I'd had to go through when I nearly lost my car and life before. I got out well before the water though, so I didn't let water in the car, by the way. Aaron didn't even get halfway across and the water pushed his car off the side, rolled it completely over, and it ended upright on the bank 50 meters downstream. He was extremely lucky not to drown, and I ran down and helped him out. Immediately, he was aggressive and combative because he said with my weight in the car... He said with my weight in the car, we'd have made it across. Admittedly, I'm 130 kilograms plus. That's about 280 pounds for Americans. But his car is a 1,650 kilogram Commodore wagon, roughly around 3,300 pounds, with a couple hundred kilograms of eBay parts in the back. So it's not like I'd have made much difference. We phoned for help and the river went down within an hour and made it across the causeway by foot. We haven't spoken since and he's avoided me in places we usually go. But on Friday, I received a letter from a lawyer I know is real in our town, but sounds like it was written by my friend. It's asking for $50,000 for the car and personal damages because I made the car unsafe by getting out. It was a 1997 Commodore, maybe worth $1,500 on a good day. Someone reassure me, it's not up to me to sit in someone's car when they're doing something dumb, is it? So before we even get into this, if you're choosing to cross running water in a vehicle, especially when it's deep, you're an idiot. Water is a force to be fucking reckoned with. And 300 additional pounds isn't going to make a notable difference that would have allowed them to cross. And not to mention, OP got out of the car before the water, and the driver, Aaron, with the additional weight gone that was quote-unquote essential, decided to still drive across the water. What an idiot. I also know that OP's in Australia because they're driving a Commodore. And by the way, a Commodore wagon produced by Holden, that's a sedan. It's not like a Grand Cherokee wagon or like a big Jeep Wagoneer or some shit like that. It's literally a sedan with a wagon hatch. It's not like an SUV. I'm actually like 95% sure, and I'm not going to Google it because we'll just see if I'm wrong or not. But depending on which version of the Commodore it is, it either shares a body with a Toyota sedan or a Cadillac sedan. Either way, it is based on the framework of a sedan. This is like a small vehicle. Like, imagine just full sending a Toyota Camry through like a running river, pretty much. And that's what this guy did. Relevant comments. Wolfie's alone. So what I gather from this is, friend wants to cross river washed road. You say it's a bad idea. He says, nah mate, I'm doing it. You get out out of fear of your own safety. Friend drives in and car washes away. Your friend blames you because 130 kilograms could have saved it. Yeah, that sounds like a crock of shit. I don't think you're liable for shit. However, I would consult an attorney for legal advice pertaining to the situation. You were in imminent danger and acted on it by ensuring your own safety. There is nothing wrong with that. However, do not repost responses here and show him what people say to you. You could be liable for reasons, or even be incriminated. Hope he responds, yeah, that's what happened. I got carried away in a moment of salivating over internet justice. I won't say anything to him about this post. Deleted user responds to that comment, your, probably ex, friend is an idiot. Hasn't he seen the if it's flooded, forget it adverts the blood police put out every time there's a decent amount of rain? It's unlikely that an actual solicitor would have written such a letter of demand given how patently ridiculous the claim is. But you'll want to double check that's actually the case by calling them direct using a number taken from their website. If they did actually write the letter, just hang tight until you're actually served with a lawsuit. Get a solicitor of your own at that point. If they didn't write it and you're feeling petty, uttering false documents is an actual criminal offense. So you could dob him into the police. Personally, I drop this idiot like a hot spud. Not only did they try to risk your life, they're now trying to extort money from you because they played stupid games and won a stupid prize. Comment from user Witty and Pithy. I used to practice law in New South Wales. I am no longer authorized to practice there, and this cannot be relied upon as legal advice, but general advice to inform your next steps. 1. Observe whether the letter of demand states due date and whether they provided you with time to reply. If you do not comply with those dates, then the next step for Aaron is to follow statutory process for reissuing the letter of demand, until eventually bringing a claim to court for a debt owing. I recommend you look to New South Wales statute on the letter of demand process. It details the time periods and process. 2. Do not contact the lawyer or speak to Aaron or write or say anything to them or other people around them. Do not try to write to them about your version of events. If I was advising a client, I would instruct them to delete any Reddit post as well, as it is relevant evidence that can be used to cross-examine any written evidence you wish to provide, and may undermine your credibility as a witness. Given a formal dispute may be a he said, she said situation, your reliability as a witness is important. 3. You should retain a lawyer promptly, who will draft a response to the letter of demand and provide you with counsel. Hope he responds, there's no due date or info about a time to reply, just a statement that because of my actions their client is out a total of $50,000 and I need to pay it. It's like they've already found me guilty. There's nothing about court or how to pay or when. Makes me think it's more likely a fakie. I won't contact Aaron about it or ask him to read over this thread in case I want to save myself money and just send a copy to the lawyers involved and say, can I get you to validate that this was sent from you? Is that likely to be a risk, or should even that go through a lawyer I pick? I recognize that might be going beyond what you're allowed to advise. I'll probably hit up a lawyer of my own this week. Update, December 11th, 2018. 9 days later. I went to a lawyer my parents had used a few years ago and they recommended. She took one look at the letter from my friend Aaron's lawyers and said she has concerns about it, and she'd respond. She contacted his lawyer, and my lawyer mailed me to tell me Aaron's lawyers aren't his lawyers at all, but to contact her if I heard more otherwise. No need for more action. Aaron had apparently faked up the letter and admitted as much to me yesterday when he finally decided to talk to me. He wants me to retract my complaint to his lawyers about him using their letterhead. I hadn't complained to them myself, so I did the time-honored thing and told him to go pound sand. But It might have rhymed with go eat a bag of dicks. It's a damn shame that we'll never figure out what ended up happening to Aaron after the lawyers found out that he had fabricated a letterhead of their office to try and threaten someone. That's an easy slam dunk for any lawyer just to swing with. And it's going to be really hard to find anyone that wants to have you on retainer because it's, oh, you're being sued for fabricating a lawyer's letterhead? Not touching that one with a 20-foot pole, my dude. Good luck. But Aaron's a fucking idiot. Like, this is goofy as hell. Dude 100% wanted to try to find a way to shift blame to OP for his own ridiculous and stupid actions, and thought that if he just fabricated a lawyer's letterhead, he could get away with it, and just make it sound like the money amount is owed right now. Like, dude, what did you expect would happen? You ran with $50K right out the gate, and are shocked now that OP actually went to go consult legal advice, which ended up with you getting busted. And the thing is, if OP didn't make the complaint, Aaron, you're fucked. That's just how it is. Probably the other lawyers themselves made the complaint, or who knows what happened. But like, dude, you fucked around and you found out. This would actually fit nicely into Oh No Consequences. Don't forget, this is brought to you by GamerSupps. Use code ODDS at checkout. It's basically a caffeine powder that you put in your water, and I actually really like it. I use this on a daily basis. Don't forget that every purchase you make using code ODDS directly supports the channel. And if you want a personal recommendation from me, I would either recommend the Soda Pressing Pear or Dragon Fruit Punch. Those two are currently my favorite flavors. And as a note, once we sell a certain amount of stuff, I get my own flavor and my own cup, and you all know I'm gonna choose some degenerate shit that's gonna make their PR team squirm. My goal is to make them regret partnering with me. So please, use code ODDS at checkout to make my dream come true of making a PR team squirm.